Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to break down a really important tool for anyone navigating the U.S. financial system without a Social Security number. We're talking about the ITIN, the Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. We're going to cover what it is, how to get one, and what you can do with this powerful 9-digit number. So let's dive right in. So, does this sound familiar? You know you need to file U.S. taxes, or maybe you just want to open a simple bank account, but you hit a wall because you don't have a Social Security number. Well, if that's you, you are in exactly the right place. This is the exact problem the ITIN was created to solve. All right, here's our game plan. We've got 4 parts. First up, what even is an ITN? Then we'll walk through the application step by step. After that, the fun part, what can you actually do with it? And finally, we'll wrap up with some really important facts and cautions you need to be aware of. Let's start with the basics. Okay, section 1. So what is this thing, really? What is an ITIN? Think of it as the 9-digit key to staying on the right side of U.S. tax law. So at its heart, an ITN is purely a tax processing number. That's it. The IRS rolled it out way back in 1996 for one simple reason: to give people who can't get a Social Security number a way to file their taxes. And here's a little trick to spot one. It's always 9 digits, and it always starts with the number 9. No exceptions. Okay, this slide is absolutely crucial because this is where a lot of confusion comes from. Let's be crystal clear. An ITN is for taxes. Period. It is not a work permit. It does not make you eligible for Social Security benefits. And it has absolutely nothing to do with your immigration status. It's just a number for the IRS, totally separate from an SSN. So who's actually using these? Well, the list might surprise you. Sure, undocumented immigrants use them, but so do a lot of other people. We're talking lawfully present students, dependents or spouses of folks on certain work visas, even foreign investors who own property in the U.S. The one thing they all have in common? They have a reason to file U.S. taxes. All right, enough with the what, let's get into the how. How do you actually get one of these? Let's walk through it. The whole thing really boils down to these 4 steps. First, you fill out the application form, which is called a W-7. Second, you attach your tax return to it. Third, you prove who you are. And fourth, you send the whole package in. Let's look at each piece a little closer. And here it is. This is the starting line, Form W-7. It's pretty straightforward, asks for your name, address, that kind of thing. But here's the most important part, and you can't forget this. You have to submit this form with a federal income tax return. That's how you prove to the IRS that you actually need an ITIN. Okay, step 3 is all about the paperwork. You need to prove your identity and your foreign status. Now, the IRS accepts 13 different documents, but honestly, the easiest route by far is to use a valid passport. Why? Because it's the only single document that proves both things at once. If you don't have one, you'll need to combine 2 or more documents from this list. And remember, these have to be the real deal, originals, or certified copies from whoever issued them. So you've got your W-7, your tax return, and your documents all ready to go. Now what? You've got 3 ways to submit everything. You can mail it all to the IRS, but, if you're not super comfortable mailing your original passport, you've got 2 other great options. You can make an appointment at an IRS center, or you can use a certified agent. The big plus with those last 2 is they can check your documents right there and hand them straight back to you. So, you've done it. You've gone through the process, and you now have your ITIN. But what comes next? Well, as you're about to see, this is way more than just a number you stick on a tax form. Obviously, its main job is to let you file your federal tax return. This is how you stay in compliance with U.S. tax law. And this is a huge deal for the economy. Get this. In 2019 alone, ITIN filers contributed a net of $5.8 billion. That's billion with a B. But this is where it really starts opening doors. Many banks and credit unions will now accept an ITIN instead of an SSN to open a checking or savings account. And that is a game changer. It gives you a safe place for your money and access to all those basic financial services we all need. And it just keeps going from there. See, once you have that bank account, you start building a financial history. And with that history, a lot of places will start to consider you for things like credit cards, personal loans, or even car loans. This is the path to building a credit score and chasing those bigger financial goals. This quote from Ernesto, an ITIN filer, really hits the nail on the head. For so many people, it's not just about following the rules, it's about building a record. It's proof that you're here, you're contributing, and you're an active part of the economy. All right, let's wrap up with a few critical details and potential speed bumps. It's so important to understand not just the benefits, but also the responsibilities that come along with having an ITN. Okay, this is super important. ITINs have a use it or lose it rule. If you don't file a tax return for 3 years in a row, poof, it expires. And if you need it again after that, you have to go through the whole renewal process. So you got to stay on top of it. You might want to screenshot this slide or jot this number down. This is the official IRS support line specifically for ITNs. If you have questions, if you need to check on your application, if you lost your number, this is who you call. It's an incredibly helpful resource. And now we get to what is, for many people, the single biggest question of all. You're giving your personal information to the government. So, is it safe? So here's the deal. The IRS has very strong privacy laws. There's a rule called Section 6103 that basically forbids them from sharing your tax info with other agencies, and that includes immigration enforcement. But, and this is a big but, it's not absolute. Your info can be shared inside the Treasury Department for tax stuff. More importantly, it can be shared if a federal court orders it as part of a criminal investigation that's not tax-related. So the protections are strong, but they aren't totally bulletproof. So to bring it all home, an ITIN starts as a key to filing your taxes and doing the right thing. But as we've seen, it quickly becomes a key to unlocking so much more: the banking system, financial tools, and the chance to build a real financial foundation here in the US. At the end of the day, getting that 9-digit number is really just the beginning. It's the access point. It's the opportunity. The real question, the one we want to leave you with, is what are you going to build with it?